What is up, my fellow conspirator and conspirators? It is, of course, I, none other than your boy, Matty Milligan, and this is episode number 38 of the Underground Marketing Conspiracy. Whoa! Today I'm going to be talking to you about memes, GIFs, and emojis in your business. Oh my. Now, I want to talk about this because I've been posting several memes in different Facebook groups trying to get a feel of what really people relate to, right? And I try to make my memes as polarizing as possible. I try to make them funny. More so, I'm trying to make people think as marketers, right? Because I see a lot of people where they're like, oh, just I don't want to think. I just want people to do things for me. And that's not going to cut it, right? You need to come up with your own ideas. You need to, even if you're not creative, it's not that difficult to come up with awesome ideas if you really just listen to what people want and give them what they want to buy. That's a very straightforward thing, but I've been memeing in a few groups, and unfortunately, I've had several of them deleted. One of them was kind of controversial. It was like a 50 Shades of Grey one, and they removed it from the group, and they were like, oh, this is like overly kind of explicit content. And I'm like, all right, it's like, I was like, there's kids in this group, and I'm like, all right, whatever, like, you win, it's your group. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to kind of be like, yeah, you know what, like, I don't want to be kicked out of this group, so let's do that. And then I posted another one that people started commenting, and it was very, like, I talked about it the other day, where it was just this different levels of marketers, and people got really offended, right? And I'm probably just going to post it back on my own personal profile at this point, just because, again, I think it's pretty funny. And there were people who were like, oh, you did it in reverse order, just in the way you did things. But I just talked again about, I pointed out some of the ways that things that marketers are using right now to sell their products. And I don't have anything against the way any of these people do things. That's really their prerogative, whether it's legal or illegal, or they're legitimate or illegitimate, or it's white hat or black hat, or in my opinion, that doesn't matter. It's really their prerogative on how they choose to grow their business, how they choose to grow their personal brand, how they choose to scale, increase sales. That's really their decision. I just look at theirs and look at it from an objective point of view and see what they're doing and see if I can use that in a way for my own business, right? And I point them out so other people can see them and they can be like, oh, that's what they're doing. Oh, cool. Like, let me see if that would work into my book, right? I think I've talked in the past about business topography, where if you're in one niche in industry, you look at other niches in industries and strategies on how they're growing their business, whether that's increasing output of their business, making better systems in place, hiring teams, increasing sales, whatever they're doing, looking at other businesses and see what strategies they're using and then implementing those in your own business. Excuse me. So this is what I've done with memes and GIFs and emojis. Oh my. So memes, I don't claim to be the best memer. I think I'm good at creating memes for internet marketing, and people seem to find them pretty funny as well. But I've met some people, and I think memes are just something as well where when the right meme is used at the right time, it really just needs to make people think. And if it's something that's specifically funny, then people are going to be like, all right, this guy's human. Like, he has a sense of humor, right? That's a very good way to relate to people, is you both find something funny. And you know what's funny? I posted there, and there was one dude who like posted like kind of like an angry comment, being like, anyone who would post this kind of stuff, they mustn't be making any money. And I was like, oh, cool. And I think I just commented like, that's an opinion. And other people came in to like destroy this guy, because I don't try to argue on the internet. There's even a meme for this, and you can meme that right now, arguing on the internet, and you'll see the opinion about that a lot of people have about what it's like to argue on the internet. And if you know the meme I'm talking about, then yeah, it's jokes. So this dude commented though, and I didn't have anything against this guy. I'm like, yeah, like, and I looked at his profile. He seems legit, and he seems like that. It triggered him, I'm assuming, a little bit. He got a little bit upset and angry, which is fine. That's cool, dude. You can definitely get upset and angry. That's your decision based on that, right? That's not gonna stop me from creating memes. And again, I thought it was pretty funny, to be honest. So what ended up happening, Will, was some other guy was like, oh, wow, I visited your profile. Like, I think what you have is of value to this dude. And he ended up buying this dude's service, right? Like a few $1,000 service. And I'm like, awesome. Like, glad I could facilitate some business. And then they were both happy. And one of them messaged me being like, oh, dude, like, that was a really good post. Like, thanks for helping me find that person. And I'm like, awesome. Like, I opened up a networking opportunity just by posting a meme in a group. Now, I use just image flip to create my memes. I use Giphy to create my GIFs, emojis. I use Emojipedia just to find the right emoji because they're always updating that as well. When it comes to emojis, I find that women, it's more so for that niche when you're selling to women. I've tested it with men memes versus less, and there was a slight decrease in the response when I actually used emojis in the post. And I tried to make them like masculine ones as well, right? Like really like strong, like sword, like bicep flexing awesomeness of glory, and the cool emoji and the sunglasses guy emoji. But ultimately what ended up happening was that I didn't really get the response that I was hoping for when I tested it. But then I tested another one for a product where it was specifically targeted towards women, where I used like high heel shoes and the bikini emoji, and then like I think the martini emoji and a cocktail emoji, and then like a sunny island emoji, and it increased the response by a lot. I don't know how the stats in front of me, but it definitely got a better response. And again, I haven't tested this to death. I haven't split tested everything, but that's been one quick test that I've done. So it's like when using emojis, it's more of, I think it'll increase your response from females, and really just basically it'll improve your conversion rates and probably your average cart value as well, on those orders. So that's really that. And again, these are kind of new things. Like even for me, when I message people as a guy, I don't really use that many emojis. Like I might use like the cool guy emoji, the smiley emoji, and then a few of them. Even when I post on Instagram, I'm like, this is like I don't know. One cool thing though is that if you've ever used Slack, you can add custom emojis in there for your team. I think that's a good way to use in your business, right? Because all these developers, when I worked at Shopify, they would go out and create these little like custom reaction emojis, right? These animated emojis. And they were so unique, right? And there were certain ones that were my favorite. Like there's this one emoji that I want to see so badly. It's like when people are laughing really hard, they're like, oh, I'm dying, or, I died, or I'm dead because I laughed so hard, right? So at Shopify, there was this little like guy lying down emoji, and people would always react with that when I would say something funny, or when someone else would say something funny. They would always react with that little like lying down emoji. And I would hope so bad that emoji like eventually gets on Emojipedia. I don't know how to submit emojis, and this is a ridiculous topic that we're talking about, but as a thought experiment, just keep listening, okay? So finding the right emoji for the right time for the right person, I think, is an art, right? Sure, it might be a science, but I think emojis are good because they convey messaging. When you read a lot of emails, it's kind of boring. And again, you can use some Unicode to make it and give it a little bit of personality, but I don't see as many people doing that in their emails, right? And I see some good social media posts, like using them on Facebook, you definitely want to have emojis, right? On Instagram, definitely have your emojis. I haven't, a lot of the other platforms, like I don't know, I'm trying to learn TikTok and I still suck at it at this point. I feel so weird because it's all like teenagers on there doing these videos, and it's all music that I don't like. And anyways, that's a whole other story for another day, but I think emojis, using them for social media posts, is definitely going to increase your response, especially for women. Now, GIFs. I'm pretty good at GIFs. At Shopify, they called me gifted. No joke, because I was pretty good at posting the right GIFs. Some of my favorites, I think my favorite GIF is from Kroll Show. There are these guys called, I think they're like rich guys or rich bad guys or something. I don't know. Anyways, it might be an offensive word that I'm not going to repeat, but there's two things that they would say, these rich guys. They would be like, oh, definitely. They would say dolphinitely for definitely, and then turtly for totally. So I would always have those back to back, like turtly and dolphinitely. I would always kind of have those back to back. That would always get people laughing. And then I had this other one too, where there was this character Caesar. He would do this like blat blat blat. So I would always have that as well when people would, like when there's this thing, and when people are talking and someone says something that rubs the other person the wrong way, other people will be like, oh, shots fired, right? Because it might be insulting and cause a bit of friction between the two people. So I would always post that, like brat brat brat, because shots had been fired. One thing though that I'm going to be doing in the future, and this is something that I haven't seen many people doing. So I follow like Russell Brunson, I follow this guy Steve Larson, and I've seen people make memes for Steve Larson. And I've seen this other dude, Andrew Warner, with his chatbots. So what they've done is they've created little, not only images, but GIFs of themselves with certain words on Giphy, and then uploaded them there as reactions. So in the chatbot, for example, when it replies, it's like, hey, what's up? And then it says again in the meme text, it's like, hey, what's up? But he's like waving and it's him, right? So it adds personality and the person starts to, again, see your face, right? And then when you send them on a little chatbot journey, it gives them the different like GIFs throughout the different thing where you're like, reacting and showing your different emotions on there, right? And again, it just adds personality to your chatbots. One thing I'm going to be doing though is I'm going to be creating GIFs of myself doing the same thing, right? But I'm going to use that in networking in groups, right? So when people say something interesting, I'll be like, oh, interesting. And I say like, some of the things I always say are cool, cool. I say, I see a lot, where it's like, oh, I see. So because I understand, because I try not to argue with people online. If people are ever take umbrage to something I say, or they're very mercurial and they're writing one of those massive long text paragraphs I don't have time to learn. Sometimes I'm a little bit trolly and I'll put the word like triggered, because based on that post I was talking about earlier, that meme, there were definitely some people who were triggered pretty hard by a meme. And again, sticks and stones may break my bones, words will never hurt me. So keep that in mind anytime you're upset. I think it's Warren Buffett talks about this as well, where he's like, oh, I get mad a lot, but he's like, I'm just very good when people say things. I'm just like, oh, you know what? I'm mad at this moment based on what they said to me, based on those words. So I'm going to step away and then make a decision when I'm less angry, when I'm less tired, when I'm less hungry. And again, you should do that as well. So if someone says something to you online, if they post a meme you don't like that offends you and triggers you, then I would just look at it in a different way, right? Step away from your computer for a bit. Same thing if you see a meme. If it's some sort of like sexual or offensive, like politically or religious charged meme or emoji or GIF, that's a whole other story. You should definitely have that, and I'm guilty of that, to be honest. Like sometimes I do, with my reptilian brain. When I get into troll mode, I can definitely be, I could definitely use that. The thing is, though, I don't go out, I honestly don't go out and try and troll. Like, I could honestly troll people, and I feel I could destroy them with my writing skills and just other things in general, but I don't want to put that negativity out into the world, first of all. Like, I want to put positivity out in the world, because I think what you give into the world comes back to you, just karma. So for me, anytime I find myself, what I'll do sometimes is I'll step away and then write what I really want to say and then just delete it, right? And be like, all right. Same thing if I get an email from someone that's like angry or upset, or if I get a text message from someone that's angry or upset, I'm going to step away from it, back from it, and then sleep on it, and then respond at a later time, right? So I would try again, like if someone posts something and it offends you, like I could have the words, I don't remember who said this, but it was something about, it's like if you have the words, it's like there's like this Bible scripture, I think that it was, but it was something about the meek shall inherit the earth, right? Now, meek, a lot of people will be like, oh, they mean weak and they mean like not strong. But it's like, no, like those who have shields and swords know how to use them, and they could strike you down at any point, but they choose not to. And having that ability to hold yourself back, to really smite someone or really destroy them with your sword, and in this case, your words, having that ability to just step back and let the person run a fool of themselves and do that, just do that instead, right? So have the ability where you could like troll someone and really make a really mean and nasty meme or GIF and have a bunch of emojis and even text and copy that could do it, but don't do that to people, right? Just when people, they don't like your meme or your GIF, just step back for a second and just be like, all right, yeah, man, like that's cool, dude. Like, because the internet is the easiest place to get trolled in the entire world, right? People can go on anonymously, they can create fake accounts, they can use fake profile pictures. Usually when you get trolled by people, it'll be on Twitter, and it'll be someone who has their gravatar of their egg. So they haven't even taken the time, right? It's like in Avengers Endgame, Noob Master 69, right? Like that's probably the dude that's going to end up trolling you. And sure, you could get triggered. And one thing don't do that I've done and been guilty of in the past is when someone does start to troll you, don't give in. Again, just step away. But don't even focus your time and energy on that person, right? I'll have like a meme where I'll post it and like 20 people will be like, oh man, this is hilarious, ha ha ha, blah blah blah. And there'll be one guy like, this sucks. And all of my energy is focused on that. And then I'll suddenly realize that I'm doing that like, oh, like all these other people, they spoke very highly of me, but my reticular activating system is focusing on that one negative comment and that one negative person. And I'm like so focused on that. And when I find myself in that mode, I'm like, oh, dude, like you fell for it again, man. Like, why are you doing that? It's like, all right, just step back, leave, and be like, all right, dude, like, again, we have very primitive brains and it's very easily to get distracted by that stuff. And again, I guess I think that was a bonus today because it gave you some information on some social and emotional intelligence as well, on top of how you could actually use memes, GIFs, and emojis in your business. I think the most important strategy I shared, which I'll repeat right now, is that you could create little GIFs of yourself, right? If you have YouTube videos like I do, just make little GIFs of yourself animated, like smiling and different things, and then add some text, create a list of those and create a Giphy channel. And then that way you have those on hand when you go into like groups and network. Because sure, you can leave a quick comment, but adding that personalization, that GIF, it's like, mwah, just that extra level. And again, no one else is doing that. And I'm going to try that out myself. And I'm already like, oh man, this is like the most genius things. It's really just because when you go into groups, sometimes you'll see some brands commenting, because I used to do this with reputation management, where like people will leave a review on a site and then we would go in and be like, hey John, sorry you feel that way. Our product is supposed to do XYZ and not do XYZ. Or if you're upset, please contact us at this number. Have yourself a nice day, Matt. Company name. And that's basically how I would reply to those negative things, right? And then people out there, they would see that you're actually replying and being like, oh, okay, like they actually care about their reputation. They care about those reviews. So I think doing stuff like that with these gifts, it just adds another level of personalization. Like imagine if you're a brand out there did that and they left some like funny thing. Like imagine if McDonald's left like Ronald McDonald gifts of him being like, oh, I'm sorry you're sad. Or it's like, hey, like thanks for leaving a review. I think that it just adds more personalization, more humanity to your brand, especially if you're a big enterprise. But a lot of big enterprises are just going to hear that and be like, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. So then that's really their decision. But if you're small and up and coming, like, and don't be afraid to put yourself on camera. Like, it doesn't matter what you look like own whoever you are, which is the last gem I'm going to leave you with today. Hope you enjoyed yet another episode of the Underground Marketing Conspiracy. If you did like this, consider subscribing, consider listening to other episodes as well. Heck, I talked about reviews earlier. Maybe you consider giving me a review on iTunes or Spotify. Maybe, I don't know, you could go on TuneIn or Deezer or iHeartRadio. Wherever you are listening to this to, consider leaving a review and giving me some feedback so I can improve on speaking. Maybe there's a specific marketer, entrepreneur, or salesperson that I'm not aware of that you want to let me know about, and then I can invite them on this show and actually give you more value that way, because we have lots of awesome people coming up. I'm in the process of booking lots of people right now and just pre-shooting a lot of episodes to save me time so I can just release an episode every single day and really help you out to grow your business and to give you some highly classified and confidential business knowledge that the top 1% of business earners don't want you to know. Have yourself an awesome day. Once again, my name is Matty Milligan, and I will see you next time on another episode of the Underground Marketing Conspiracy. Whoa!